Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It is an anniversary show. Hey Dave, can I be part of the show?
No, Orb, we have everyone ready to go.
Damn, I was all ready for eyeball jokes. You guys want to hear one?
Sure.
No? All right, Dave, you gotta get out here and introduce the show.
All right, I'll be right there.
Have fun, everyone.
It's this Just News Comedy Club show, anniversary edition, with your very special guest stars, Danno, Paul Kilmer, Chipp Jones, and your headliner, Deena Baikowitz, with co-host Kristine Knowlton. And now, without further ado, the master of ceremonies, the Randy Savage of puppets, please welcome Aaron! Yay! Yay! Happy anniversary, y'all! Season 3's on! Yay! You know, he just gave me goosebumps. That's weird. It's the third anniversary, second year doing this third season of this Just News Comedy Club show. If I could trip over my eye teeth, I would every day. Yes, I would every day. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a great show to be part of. And, you know, it's been quite the day. I asked my wife, she said I look like Mr. Clean if he let himself go.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going to see less of me. I actually back on a healthy diet. And did you know that one sleeve of Girl Scout cookies is not 150 calories? No, not like 2 of those damn cookies. So I've had to cut back on a lot of things. Eating is one of them. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But, you know, we're in here for a great time tonight. We have 4 amazing comedians up to give you a great time. But first, I want to introduce my co-host for the night, Kristine Knowlton, everybody. Woo!
Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is a big show. It's like explode.
Explode. Yes, explode. Yeah, lightning. Oh, wait, that's lightning. Oh. Well, there's things happening around here. There's been a lot of tech updates and everything. And because this show has gotten so big, I've got a exclusive deal with a Roku channel called Malfunction TV. These are going to go on there, and it's going to be a blast. You guys will be able to say, hey, check out this Just News Comedy Club showcases on your TV. Yes, you don't have to wait for Netflix anymore, just for this Just News Comedy Club show. There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've circumvented Netflix. So it's going to be awesome. What do you think, Kristine? We're going to have a blast doing that?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be a blast. It's like, I'm ready for it. It's like, yes. Yeah.
Finally, we're going to get our dues and probably owe a lot. Anyway, you know, let's get to our first comedian up tonight. Please welcome to the stage a very funny man. I just say book him. Let's give it up for Danno, everybody. Woo!
Woo! Oh, thank you. 4 words. You will only hear in this order at a Jewish family meal. Taste this. It's terrible. My mother, when she hears I'm dating someone new, maybe you'll make my day and tell me she's a nice Jewish girl. She was on the cover of Chick's a Goddess magazine last month. She was the one wrapped in bacon and cheese whiz. So my daughter, she's 35, and kids are so cute at that age, really. And she comes out to me recently as queer. I think is terrific. I'm just like, the first words out of my mouth were, so maybe now you'll meet a nice Jewish girl. Yeah, I'm getting older. It's not even older. I'm old. I'm old as dirt. You know you're old as dirt when you're having long and serious discussions about fiber And the word regular takes on a whole new meaning. You know you're getting older if you can remember when this statement was an insult and not a fashion statement. Your mother wears army boots. You know you're old as dirt when you're spending too much time shopping for the right pair of compression socks.
Oh.
To go with your sandals. You know you're old as dirt when you can have sex with someone half your age in every state in the country and it's legal. Math joke. I know it's a little strange. You know, some people say, I don't know, the new names for kids. They have all these crazy names. Nobody names their kid Adolf anymore.
Nope.
When was the last time you heard? So, when are the Hitlers coming over for dinner again? You just don't hear it. So I'm at Home Depot and the shopping cart ahead of me, there's this adorable kid and he shouts out at me. He says, "I'm Adam and I'm 4. And I said, "Adam, I'm Danno and I'm 6. I don't think so. Why not? Well, what happened to your hair? I said, "Adam, I'm going to let you in on a secret. 5 is a really rough age, okay? Kindergarten is not all crayons and paper airplanes, okay?" So I'm in that line and at Home Depot, and I have this moment with this woman, and you know, I just came out of a relationship, and then she asked me for my phone number, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not ready. I can't do this. I can't give you my phone number." She said, "That's fine, sir. Can I see your photo ID so I can pull your order, please?" Now, there was a time when I was in a relationship and I was doing stand-up. It was really nice because I knew that when I got home, she'd be waiting for me to untie her.
Yeah.
But I knew she was a little edgy. Her safe word was harder. And when I met her, she walked up to me and she said, "Are you into pain?" And I said, "If I was honey, I'd still be married."
Oh.
Find it so hard to meet a woman who will have sex with me now for less than $500. It's so annoying. But the whole thing is of relationships. It's all in my head. I have a busy mind. I'm crossing the street and I see this woman and I've already moved in with her. And then as I get closer, I see something I don't like. And it's like, "No, honey, you got to go. Sorry. Time to pack your bags." Like, she's smoking. I don't like that. "Oh, it's a joint she's smoking. I like that. She offers me some. I really like her. It's a sample. She's a dealer. I don't like her so much. But she's got really good shit and great prices. I like her again." We start talking. She's got a little tattoo in the shape of a heart right here. It says Susie underneath. I don't like that. She tells me she just broke up with Susie. I like that. She's thinking about trying men. Now I really like her. Oh, this is going well. She asks me if I know any.
Oh.
And of course, that's when I fall in love with her. Thank you very much. I'm Danno.
All right, let's give it up for Danno, everybody. All right. And Danno, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook and Twitter, Dan Sevush, Sevush. If you can spell it, you can find me. There ain't many in my family.
Sweet. Got any shows coming up you want to promote? Any online shows? It might be too late by the time this gets up, but you never know.
Yeah, nothing. I'm on the dark side of the Zoom on your show and various nefarious other places. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Danno. And we'll talk about fiber later.
Okay.
Metamucil, that's way too expensive. Buy the generic stuff. That's the same stuff, man. I don't know why you're paying the Metamucil prices at all.
Right.
It actually did have a family member named Adolf way back in the 1880s. So, but I don't know what happened to him. He wasn't German. I know that. He wasn't German. He was just an idiot. That was all I know. I read all the family history. It's like, what the heck was wrong with this guy? But anyway, oh, that was so funny, Daniel. Thank you. And you'll find him at the local Home Depot when he's not doing comedy, hitting on the cash out clerks. That's where you will find him.
Oh yeah.
And that was a funny set, wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that was great. I was like, you guys are using Metamucil, I'm using hay over here. Like, what's going on?
Hey, oh, that's kind of scratchy. Hey,
oh.
She's going old school.
Oh, yeah. It's a party. It's an anniversary show.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
She's
not
going.
roll. Go ahead.
I was gonna say she's going old one-room schoolhouse school.
Oh, nice.
A little House on the Prairie humor there. Oh my gosh.
Right.
And down the drain. Oh wait, they didn't have drains then. They went to the yeah. I'm just gonna mention this really quickly though. Speaking of Little House on the Prairie, my latest animation called Bat Romance that I got to do a voiceover for Harley Quinn. There's another voice in there, Rusty Gilligan, who was actually on Little House on the Prairie when he was just a little boy.
Wow. That's
So a
cool.
little history there.
Awesome. We have to go check that out. You have to share that with us. But you know what?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have a little bit of a magical time right now. The next comedian is going to pull a rabbit out of a hat or something. But please welcome to the stage, Paul Kilmer, everybody.
Well, it's been a weird day. I accidentally got caught in my dishwasher and my stepbrother came over, so it's weird. Some of you may not understand that. All you just gotta do is go on the internet and you'll figure it out. It's weird. I'm a comedy magician, and when I go to open mics, people think I'm a prop comic and don't want to be my friend.
Oh.
I'm gonna be doing some prop comedy later, but just understand I don't care anymore. I'm serious. We're gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you the difference. But I decided to show you a little piece of sleight of hand. I've been known to be goofy and kind of funny, and this is a little bit more serious piece. Probably not the thing that Aaron wants on his comedy show, but this is a trick where I need to be completely serious. I will be doing this to music that is copyrighted, which will be edited out with Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday is free. I forgot to set my timer. Aaron, you're just going to have to light me by screaming at me.
Okay.
So it looks like this. I was kidding about the music. I wouldn't do that to you, buddy. Happy anniversary. Thank you for all the shows. Basically, what I tied in this silk handkerchief is what's known as a slip knot. It looks like this. You're not supposed to be able to move a knot around a silk handkerchief because it breaks the laws of physics. So that is a piece of sleight of hand. I'm going to do it again, even though you didn't ask. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to make another knot. I'm going to blow on it, which does nothing, but it makes me look and feel better about myself. I did lose weight. I did, which is a lie. I'll snap my fingers and pull the knot down the silk handkerchief like this. And now I'm going to do it a third time because I have low self-esteem and you like this. So I'm going to keep doing it. You know, the thing about self-esteem is that people get it confused with self-esteem. I don't have any. Anyway, I'm going to take this and pull it down like this and show you that it's a donut now.
Oh.
I know it's crazy,
Oh.
it's a hair tie. But I'm going to show you that this handkerchief is completely normal. I know, because where did the knots come from, guys? We're all adults.
Oh.
I mean, I'm an adult, but I don't know. That's a loose term. Yeah, so sometimes people get freaked out when I come to comedy shows because they're afraid that I'm a prop comic. But that shouldn't matter because words hurt, and I hear about what you guys say about us.
Oh.
No, I'm mad.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, I like to pick things up off the ground like a pigeon or another animal that likes shiny objects. I love it. And I found an earbud on the ground. Unlike any autistic guy, I picked it up and licked it just to see who it belonged to.
Oh.
I found this earbud on the ground.
Wow.
I know. This is prop comedy, guys. It's not my fault that people like ridiculously large things. Some people like them more than others. Others are intimidated. This is starting to vibrate, and now I feel self-conscious. I'm just going to put this down. Thank you for the giggle, one person that I didn't. That's Aaron. All right. Oh yeah, hey, I've also been carrying this ridiculously tiny bottle of Axe body spray around with me because I give it to people and leave without any explanation. This set is sponsored by Mini Axe body spray. You smell.
Oh.
Take the hint. Take the hint. No, I'm just kidding. I'm never going to be invited back. Thanks for inviting me to your anniversary special. I have no idea how much time I am, but I'm just going to do my closer right now, and then I'll go back into witness protection. Sound good, Aaron?
Sounds fine. You got 3 minutes.
Oh, God, this is going to suck. Anyway, so I'm going to do this trick. I'm going to do this trick. Like I said, when I was 9, I received my autism diagnosis, and like most 9-year-olds, I didn't know what that meant. I thought I was going to get superpowers, but I became really good at with this Rubik's Cube and not talking to people. But sometimes if I'm really good, I can just squeeze it and it solves it.
Whoa.
I know, it's like it's a joke. It wasn't meant to happen. Crazy. Oh man, now everyone hates me because I can make you laugh with props. And what happens is that I'm really good at solving the Rubik's Cube without looking at it. Now you can ask my fiance, I'm really good at finding things other people can't. Like the clitoris. I can find the clitoris really good, and I'll show you how. You open the flip flaps, right? Then you push in the giggle bean, which is a technical term. And then you walk down a hallway. And there's a bookcase, and then you move a book called Great Expectations. And the bookcase slides to the side, and you walk down a flight of stairs into a large field that is moist. You don't want it to be dry. I've heard that's bad. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And then you walk to the end of the field, and there's a stump with a beaver on it. And that beaver says, "Hey, I'm tired. You did a good job." And that's how you find the clitoris, which is a C word. And I'll show you that the Rubik's Cube is solved.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. There's another one in there.
Oh.
I know. It's like I'm a magician and I don't have magic powers. But anyway, there is another Rubik's Cube in it. I'm going to use this magic wand because my parents didn't care about me in the 90s and they dropped me off at 7-Eleven instead of Hogwarts. It was cheaper. And I'm going to say the magic words: non-gonococcal meningitis. it's just mono anyway. And this one is solved too. I just want to thank Aaron for having me on his special. He always puts me on his shows. He's a really great guy. And who cares if he plays with puppets? Because I do prop comedy. I'm not I love you, bro. Have a good night. I'm staying. I'm staying. Don't worry.
All right, let's give it up for Paul Kilmer.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. Hey, Paul. He's spraying Axe body spray all over himself, and I checked myself. I showered before the show, Paul. I know I smell okay.
I did not say that you didn't. I'm just saying that I like to hand this to people, and it's 25 cents at the dollar store. So why not live a little?
Wait, there's something cheaper than $1 at the dollar store? How's that possible?
Yeah, again, it's also my self-esteem, so you won't have to worry about it.
Oh, Paul. Where can we find you on social media, man?
You can find me at Paul Kilmer on Facebook because I don't understand how to use OnlyFans or Facebook.
Oh, do you have some upcoming shows you want to promote? This probably be up by this next weekend.
No, they're just private gigs.
Oh, okay.
Private
gigs. His OnlyFans is on private gigs, guys. That's what it is.
That's right.
He's circumvented OnlyFans, obviously. But thank you again, Paul. You're so awesome. Thank you
No
again.
problem.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, Paul. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. In fact, my beaver gives him 2 thumbs up or 2.
I was taking notes. and I'm hoping that'll work later on with my wife, and I'm pretty sure I'm dead later on anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Watch out for the beaver, though.
I do. She gets snappy when she doesn't have enough sugar, so I have to make sure I'm a sugar daddy. So that's the end.
Diabetes. She has diabetes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. You're feeding me too many good lines, and I need to stop.
That's okay, Paul. That's what we're here for. It's fun, and we're having a blast.
But I'm sure other people want to do their comedy, though.
Yes, we do actually have another comedian. He's been on my show just as many times as Danno. Danno did it in a record amount of time. He's been on all 3 shows I produced in about a month's time. But this guy, he's been on my shows multiple times, and he's so funny. I had to bring him back for the anniversary show. Don't you agree, Kristine?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So let's give it up for the one, the only Chipp Jones, everybody. Woo!
Oh, you're talking about me. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me on the anniversary show.
Yeah.
This is great. Couple of comedy housekeeping. I feel that Paul wasn't exactly truthful with us. That earbud was huge, but he didn't tell you that it was actually normal size until he licked it. So I think he was holding back on us. And Danno said that he can't find a woman who'll sleep with him for less than $500. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought he said he wasn't married anymore. I don't understand that. What do I know? So first of all, let's give it up for Kansas that voted to protect a woman's right to choose. Let's give it up. Yeah. I feel like turning to Toto and going, hey, Toto, there aren't any Republicans in Kansas anymore, I guess is what it looks like. But my other favorite story in the news was this 99-year-old Mexican grandmother whose dying wish was fulfilled this past week when her grandchildren put a carved 5.5-foot penis and balls on her funeral plot, because that's what grandma wanted. So so if grandma's turning over in her grave, it's because she wants to get hit from behind, I guess is what's going on there. You can tell from my hair that I am old. I am at that point in my life, if I am up after midnight, 50% of the time it's because I have to go to the bathroom. And the other 50% is because I got to go again. I mean, it's just horrible. Yeah, I mean, and I am jealous of young guys like Paul, because I know when Paul goes, he's like a little fireman with his fire hose just blasting away. If I'm your fireman, your house is burning to the ground. I'll tell you that much. when I go, it's more like a ketchup pump at a fast food restaurant, sort of squirt, 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 squirt. I mean, it takes so long. I'll be honest with you. I sit when I pee now, which can be awkward at a urinal. Honestly. I mean, you get good eye contact with the guy standing next to you, but it's awkward, you know. And I hate my doctor. You know, I went to my doctor and he told me to pee in a cup, so I did. And then the rest of the appointment, he's complaining about how I ruined his coffee. I'm like, be more specific. Come on, be more specific. You know, I got hair growing in weird places, you know, tops of my ears and stuff. A couple of weeks back, I had this long strand growing out of my ear, and I went to pull on it, and my leg went up. I was like, whoa. So I wound up tying that one off just in case. You know? Sometimes I have to shave my toes to get them into my shoes. I mean, it's almost like I'm not getting old so much as I'm turning into a hobbit. I'm going to be looking for a quest sometimes. I mean, it's horrible. I'm also getting to that point in my life where my house is becoming like a pharmacy. You know, I've got medicine in tablet and gel form that I don't even know what it's for anymore. I've got Bengay to relax a stiff muscle. I got Viagra to stiffen a relaxed muscle. I just got too much medicine. I think the deal is I buy medicine on contingency now, you know, that I might need it in the future. I want to be able to like narrow that down and buy medicine on inevitability, you know. And maybe my grocery store can help me out. You know, if I buy a pound of hard cheese, it comes with a stool softener because I know that's inevitable. I'm gonna need that later. You know? If I buy you know, the largest pack of double stuffed Oreos, it comes with insulin. That's inevitable. You're gonna need that later. You know, if I'm cruising down the condom aisle, well, what am I talking about? My age, my wife is 60. If she gets pregnant, the child's not mine. It's God's, and we got a second Christmas coming, baby. I mean, that's all there is to that. You know?
Oh.
But speaking of my wife, I've been married for 30 years. You guys can clap it up for her. She deserves it. And, you know, for our anniversary, I did the due diligence. I went to all the wedding websites to find out what the appropriate gift for 30 years is. Does anybody know what it is? Yeah, it's a pearl. Pearl is the appropriate gift. But when I went to my bank website, it said back rub. Back rub is the appropriate gift. So, yeah, my wife got a lovely back rub, and I got a card from Wells Fargo saying I was overdrawn. But you know, we got married kind of later in our lives. Like I was 27, 28. She was 34, 35. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't enough distance between our ages for her to be robbing the cradle. It was more like she was robbing the race car bed, you know? and by that, I mean, I was still living in my mom's in my twin race car bed, you know? So, I mean, but she waited so long to get married that the money her parents had set aside for her wedding, they bought a boat instead. So we wound up having to pay for our own wedding, which meant, you know, we had to make choices, you know. And one of the things we decided was we let our family be our videographer, which it didn't turn out so well. I mean, halfway through, it's like somebody gave the camera to one of my nephews who was like 7 or 8, because everything from that point was shot from the waist down. So, but it turned into a fun family game, kind of like mystery date. You know, everybody's trying to guess who's talking. You know, and everybody's, oh, is that Uncle Joe? No. Is that Uncle George? No. My wife's like, that's Uncle Stanley. I'm like, oh, how can you tell from his brown suit and his white shoes and white matching belt? She goes, no, his fly's open. And I was used to seeing that all through my childhood. Yeah, there was silence in the room, and 2 years of family therapy after that. So, but you know, one of the things about getting married, you know, as a couple, it goes by so fast, and you just passed around, and we forgot to eat. So on the way home, we stopped by a McDonald's. You know, I was still in my tux, she was still in her gown, and as soon as we walked in, this panhandler looked up at me. He goes, spare change. And I reached in my pocket and I gave him a $5 bill. And he said, God loves you and I love you too. And I hope you guys had a great time at prom. Thanks, dude. So the people behind the counter were interested in what was going on. So we told them we had just gotten married and they gave us 2 free apple pies. It was great, you know. Ooh. And when we went and sat in the dining room and ate, you know, the word got around that we had just gotten married. And it was like the scene from The Godfather when everybody comes to the bride and groom and they hand them, you know, an envelope full of money, except people were dropping off fries, you know, and a fish sandwich, you know. It was like, it was great, you know. I could hear the Godfather music playing in the background. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But what else was I going to tell you? I live here in DC, and I don't know if you know this, but we had a dust up here a couple of years ago on January 6th. It was in all the papers for a while. But I actually have a white conservative neighbor who was down at the Capitol that day.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't actually attack the Capitol, but he was at the Trump rally beforehand. And I just had to tell him, I said, you know, those Trump rallies are racist. And he said, no, they're not. He goes, I was there and there were a lot of Black people at that rally. And I thought for a minute, and I kind of understand what he meant, because I know if I went to a Trump rally and I saw one Black person, I'd be like, man, there are a lot of Black people at this Trump rally. So I think it's the only time where a conservative white guy and a Black guy agreed on what a lot of Black people were. It was one, you know. Usually when a conservative guy tells you he's got a lot of Black friends, that's what he means. He's got one, you know. I have been, you know, trying to, during the pandemic, work on me, trying to become a better person. Because like most comedians, I found out I have issues. I'll be honest with you. I recently found out I had terrible road rage. It was weird because I found out when a bird pooped on my windshield and I followed him back to his nest and peed in it. Not a good look, you know? Thankfully, the lady who was watching me out of her second-story window called a couple of cops to help me back down out of that tree. You know, so yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I am still a work in progress. I'm Chipp from DC, and I thank you guys for listening, and I'll hand it back over to our host.
All right, let's give it up for Chipp Jones, everybody. Oh my gosh. And Chipp's already got his social media up there. It's almost a waste of me asking where he's going to be. But Chipp, are you going to be on any shows in the next couple of weeks we can check you out on?
Not in the next couple of weeks. I don't have any shows, live shows booked until next month. But, you know, things pop up all the time on my Facebook page. So, you know, come chat me up, take a look.
He is. Yeah, I do know of one show that Chipp's going to be on.
Which one's that?
Bombing Run, August 15th.
Oh, that's right. Ooh. That is true.
Ooh.
Yes, August 15th, Bombing Run. It's going to be awesome. It's an hour's worth of shows. I'm going to have the promo up pretty soon. It's going to be a blast. 2 bombing runs and 1 dogfight edition, and we'll see who ends up being the top dog out of all that. So 6
Sweet.
Is the top dog. So yes, I do know of a show you're on, Chipp. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're so amazing. I appreciate it. You know, I got married really, really late because I just celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary in February.
Aww.
Do you guys know what 7 is? It's copper.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wiring?
So a bunch of pennies.
Not a bunch of pennies. I told her I wanted to, you know, she wanted a stripper name, a stripper that looked like a copper, but I wanted a stripper named Copper.
Yeah.
And, I didn't get mine, but she got hers. Can't get rid of him either. Keeps trying to arrest me. Oh my gosh. What a show it's been tonight, huh,
That's
Christine?
right.
It has been. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I get Chipp with, getting like all the pills and things like that on contingency because you never know when you're going to need something. Me as a tech person, I've got a box of wires that's over 30 years old. And I kid you not, the other week I actually needed one of those wires. I was like, it paid off. Yes.
I just threw away a bunch of those, but
right.
I saved the world the other day. My wife forgot her pills, and I took them to work because she could have ended us like Thanos snap. I mean, she could have ended us right quick. So I saved the world, guys. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. So you know what? We just heard a thank you from our headliner. So let's get her up on the stage. Let's give it up for Deena Fireball Baikowitz, everybody. Woo!
Oh my God, this group, I'm in love with Paul. I want him to write a guidebook for every man I date. Or I'll just hire him to give him lessons. I have a really bad sense of direction, but I follow that path very, very properly. So my name is Fireball Deena, and I have learned that after 2 years of working and living and performing online, that there is no filter on Zoom or on my mouse, apparently. There is no filter on Zoom that will make me look taller. Or actually be taller. I need a booster seat for online meetings. I am the only comment, watch this, you can stand up and still stay in the frame. This is me. Oh, this is a kid's chair, by the way. I'm not a prop comic, I am the prop. Take it in. I'm a sweet 4'6" 3/4. For reference, picture Peter Dinklage in kitten heels with cleavage. Yes. Short legs, huge boobs. Because God is fair. Yeah. She's fair, but she's a lousy structural engineer. Like, this building, not entirely stable. Some women wear underwire bras. I wear cable wire bras. Yeah, I am not. We are not sound physically or emotionally. I got into comedy because I couldn't find a good therapist. Anybody else? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, like this is group therapy right here.
Yes.
But yeah, so I got into comedy because I couldn't find a good therapist. Now, it's not that comedy is more effective than therapy. It's just more fun. Right? More drinking, more sex, more applause. Coincidentally, also my dating profile. For sex, more applause. So this is why I need therapy. I mean, I need it, but I don't want it. Because I don't like being told what to do, Forgive your parents, take responsibility for your life, stop being so slutty. Therapists are judgy. Therapy is hard, right? I mean, comedy is easy. For me, I'm lucky. Comedy comes natural to me, unlike directions or math or healthy relationships. Speaking of unhealthy relationships. But being tiny has its pros and cons. And I dated a man who was 6'4", because I could. And he put me on a pedestal. No, literally, like he had to put me on a pedestal. Really need to start dating younger men. And he bought us tickets to a concert.
Ooh.
Floor seats.
Oh.
No.
So he lifted me up and put me on his shoulders, facing the other way. Best 20 minutes of the show I never saw. Speaking of inappropriate shows, welcome to my set.
I love it.
So, Aaron, you know this, but recently I performed for the first time on stage in over 2 years.
Woo, yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you, pandemic. But, and you know, performing on stage, my first time on stage reminded me of my another first time when I lost my virginity. I have excellent long-term memory.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I'm still the youngest person in this room. I don't own that. And I just look the youngest. A really good filter. But you know what? Like your first time having sex and first time doing comedy, have a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous, excited. I practiced for hours by myself in front of a mirror. And when I finally did it, it was in a room full of strangers who bought tickets. And I was under a spotlight, hoping for applause. But you know what? Comedy and sex do have a lot in common, especially if you're a woman. You're judged for your appearance, you're judged for your performance, for what comes out of your mouth, and what stays in.
Ooh.
So I'm single. I'm also an extrovert because you know one-on-one isn't enough for us. We need to do everything in groups. And as an extrovert, I am an extrovert, and that makes me an emotional support animal for introverts. Like a chihuahua with lipstick and business cards. Okay, now as a service animal, I should be allowed to fly for free. I fit in a carry-on, but I can't reach the overhead compartment. And they don't let humans travel under the seat.
No.
Also, I refuse to wear those damn vests because they'll fit over the boobs. So the service, I had to find another job. So I became a networking coach. And I teach professionals how to build meaningful, strategic, long-term relationships. I'm very good at it. I've also been single most of my adult life. Networking lessons from a constantly single woman. Welcome to my ironic TED Talk. So I've been doing a lot of online dating. And I've been doing online dating for so long, I got my 10,000 hours in. Woo! I'm a master, which is something no white person should ever say.
No.
I'm going to get back to dating now. So I met a very interesting man on Bumble. Well, I'm approaching Bumble to sponsor me after this story. This is going to be my Netflix special. And at the time, I was living in New York, and so was he, or so I thought. And his profile said he was from Montreal, and I'm originally from Montreal. So I sent him a clever opening line. I said, you know, we're both from the same small town. We're both Jewish. There's always a chance we may be third cousins, but I'm willing to take that risk that you are. So he writes back, I asked my mother. I'm like, oh, he asked his mother. That's so sweet. And she said, as long as we don't want to have kids, it's okay. His mother's sassy. At our age, we're more likely to have grandkids than kids, but let's go with it. So we had a phone call. And we started talking, and I started interrogating. What part of town did you grow up in? The other part of town. Okay, which school did you go to? The other one, the good one. Yeah, a little bit of a snob, but whatever, I can work with that. I still like his mother. Yeah. And, you know, movies and music. Okay, he hasn't lied about his age yet. And once I figured out that he was not my high school best friend's ex-husband or ex-lover, I thought, we're good. So I said, okay, you know, what's your last name? And he tells me, and I was like, oh, are you related to so-and-so? And he says, yeah. I said, okay. Is your grandfather so-and-so? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I have good news and I have bad news. I said, the good news is we're not third cousins. The bad news is we're second cousins. Your grandfather and my grandmother are brother and sister. So he says, well, now that I know we're related, I think you're even hotter.
Oh,
You're like, I don't know if it's bad, but it's kinky. And, you know, kinky obviously runs in the family. So then he says, does this mean we can't hook up? Yeah, I'm still not sure, but it's a good thing we found out on the phone, because if we hadn't, here's how the date would have gone. We would have met at a bar. He would have bought me drinks. And my policy and my procedures are generally 2 drinks, I'll make out with you at the bar. 3 drinks and fish tacos, you're coming home with me. And he would have come home with me. And then maybe at some point I would have asked his last name, found out we were related, and I would have said, well, we've already made out, we might as well have sex. Or, you know, he would have come home, seen a picture of his grandfather on the wall and said, is this a prank show? Is my mother here? So I found out he was my cousin and he didn't live in New York. So we didn't hook up.
Oh.
Then. Fast forward to the pandemic and I moved to Toronto. Guess where he lives? So I called him up. Guess who's in town, honey? Don't want to hook up? He goes, yes. I said, great. Want to help me move? It's the traditional first date for second cousins is want to help me move? That is in storage. And now we're outside of the city. We need to pick it up at 7 a.m. He's, you know, he's still, it's been a long, lonely lockdown. Okay, this is the middle of COVID in Canada, no vaccines, pure full-on lockdown, like nothing's happening. And so I sent him a photo. I packed this for the ride. Clorox wipes, Lysol spray, gel hand sanitizer. He wrote back, oh my God, that's Jewish sexting. And he sent me back a photo. Sandwiches, cookies, coffee. That's our version of a dick pic. So he picked me up at 7 a.m. in the morning. I am not a morning person, but I looked hot. I was hot. I was wearing a parka, a scarf, a ski mask, and snow boots. I was sweating. Okay. An hour later, we get to the storage unit. He's like, want to have sex in it?
No.
I said, no. Wait until the movers leave. That's how I accidentally hooked up with my second cousin. Thank you, Bumble. These are my issues. That's my time. My name is Fireball Deena, and my safe word is family therapy.
All right, let's give it up for Deena Fireball Baikowitz, everybody. Oh, hey, don't look at me. Let's get Deena back up here. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, there she's a fireball. All right, Deena, where can we find you on social media?
I'll be at my cousin's house.
Well, we know where she's going to be. That's what was that?
I'll be pitching this to Netflix.
Okay. We're pitching. Yeah, the second
I
cousin.
am
Deena.
Fireball Deena on Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, Deena Baikowitz on LinkedIn. That's my professional account. Don't tell them, just kidding. And Facebook. I'm an extrovert. You can find me anywhere.
and in a storage locker with her second cousin.
That's right.
Oh, sponsor us.
That's right.
We're gonna get her
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Accidents will happen. Come on.
Oh. Oh. By the way, Deena, you're not the youngest person here because Danno is only 6.
Yeah, it's like it.
Yeah, he does. You got any other shows coming up? I know you're in New York City, right? You're in New York City?
In spirit, I am always in New York City. I'm currently between cities, as they say.
Oh, I see. Between cities.
I'm on Canadian soil right now.
Ah, I got you. So you got any shows you want to promote that might show up in a couple weeks?
I guess I will have to get booked in some shows.
I see. Well, you know what? Get her on a show, guys. This will be on Malfunction TV. She will be on TV before she gets her Netflix special. And maybe Bumble will see it and go, you know what? That Fireball Baikowitz, we need to have her on there.
Family Feud.
And welcome to Baikowitz, everybody. So how do you guys know each other? How'd you hook up? We're second cousins, and we love each other. Oh, Steve Harvey's going to love you to death. I can't wait to watch that episode. I'm inviting everyone to watch.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Deena. Oh my gosh. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh, Kristine. What a way to kick off an anniversary show, season 3 of This Just a News Comedy Club show. Oh my gosh. I don't know how else I would have done it.
Without all these amazing people. I know exactly. It's like, woo.
I laughed my butt off and now I gotta go find it. It's yeah, it's the only part my wife actually liked about me. Yeah.
I bet if you ask a second cousin, they could find it for you.
Not my second cousins. No.
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 That is right there. Nope.
Nope. Not even third or fourth. Nope. Not the end of that one. But you know what? We had such a great show. I want to thank our comedians tonight. Danno, book 'em. I'm just calling him Danno, book 'em. Paul Kilmer, Chipp Jones, and again, Fireball, Deena Baikowitz. You guys were awesome. And thank you for Kristine Knowlton for being my co-host. Kristine, do you have anything you want to promote before we end the show?
Yes, on August 23rd, I will be in the Turnpike Comedy Festival. That's in Newark, New Jersey. Yes, coming to you live. And then, of course, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I'm on Catbox Comedy on Twitch. Woo!
Go check that out. Twitch. She's always having fun on Twitch. It's always fun to check her out on that. And she is the creator, developer, producer of the Roku channel called Malfunction TV, which is coming soon. I'm not going to tell you when. She'll tell me when. And then you'll see these shows, this show, Bombing Run, and any sketch comedies that This Just News does, or any of the new satire with the puppets. And yeah, that's basically it for me. Bombing Run next Monday. It's going to be 2 of us, or it's going to be an hour's worth of shows, 2 bombing runs for 3 comedians. 3 comedians do 5-minute sets. And the mysterious judge decides who's Joker Ace. And the 2 Joker Aces out bombing run will play Dogfight Edition, where they do 3-minute sets. And then there'll be the one comedian that does the best will be crowned top dog. And then there's a Bay Area Arts Entertainment Cooperative Show, August 29th. Yes, it's for Buck Evans' 401(c). I can't say it right now.
401(c).
Thank you. I got that straight. Yeah, but that's going to be coming up shortly. So look for that on the Oddly Funny Productions Facebook page. You can see where my Instagram and stuff is there. But that's the show for tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for enjoying the comedy. And for me, Kristine, and all the comedians, this has been an Oddly Funny production. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.